Right in Austin's backyard is a massive oil field, one of the largest in the state.
New drilling technology is reviving wells once thought to be dry and giving the local economy a much-needed boost. KITV's Lisa Lee Kelly wanted to find out how much money we're talking about. She joins us live in the newsroom with what she found. Lisa.
Ron and Judy, last month we went to Fayette County. We headed east to investigate new methods to get that precious oil out of the ground. Keep in mind, this is not hydraulic fracturing. Those rich oil and gas fields don't require fracking to unleash the goods. In the small town of Round Top, Texas, Larry Levine mows his lawn with what is becoming a more familiar backdrop. A massive oil rig drilling 2 miles down below.
Yeah, I go down there and check what's going on every morning. See how far they drilled in. See, I'm crossing my fingers. They'll get a little cash out of it, you know.
Up the road, this idyllic property is 4 weeks ahead of the Levines. The rig and the workers and the trailers were just here, now replaced by these tanks. Listen closely. That's the hiss of natural gas under pressure being captured as it escapes from its underground home for thousands of years. And to brothers Mark and Billy Yaney, it's the sound of money.
It's doing about 100 barrels of oil and 1,000 MCF in gas a day. It should bring about gross $10,000.
A day?
Yes, ma'am.
The Yaneys have been in the oil and gas business for 2 generations. The private company, Leexus Oil, fronts the money for the risky part of the venture, the month-long drill deep into the earth. This drilling rig broke ground here about 2 weeks ago, and if all goes according to plan, it should start pulling up oil within the next week.
But it's an expensive process to go after it. We spent about $1 million drilling this well.
And it's not just natural gas these wells are producing.
You'll see, Lisa, all the gas escaping.
That orange liquid is sweet Texas crude, fresh virgin oil. Tanks separate the natural gas from the oil. The property owners get a cut, and so does Leexus. Both of these properties had old vertical wells that were no longer producing. But this area lies above the Austin Chalk Formation, limestone with natural fractures that may contain valuable fossil fuels.
You have a fault or a fracture that's there that we're hoping that's virgin, that has not been hit before.
So the Yaneys are going back into existing wells, first going to its original depth, but then making a turn miles below the Earth's surface and drilling horizontally.
We're at about 11,600 foot TVD, which is total vertical depth.
Using a bit like this, they drill around the clock, pushing 30-foot pipes into the ground, weighted down by mud.
When that gas hits, it starts to want to travel up the well hole, but we want to kind of keep it back. We've got the ability to go ahead and add more mud and mud up and keep the well from just, blowing the rig off the hole.
This well is so powerful that it is flowing under its own pressure, not needing any help.
Ultimately, it's going to end up in our gas tank here. It's going to give jobs to the American people here.
The Yaneys and the Levines cross their fingers, watching the giant temporary tower constructed away from the drilling rig, which will send a flare skyward if they hit a pocket. It's a process the Yaneys plan to repeat continuously this year, capitalizing on skyrocketing oil prices, reviving the local economy.
I think energy is leading the country out of the recession. It's one of the fastest recovering sectors. I hope this well produces for 10 to 15 more years. Wouldn't be surprised if it lasted longer.
And a few weeks after we traveled to Round Top, Billy Yaney sent me these pictures. Take a look, showing that beautiful flare that every driller hopes to see. Their risk-taking worked, and that Levine well is now producing oil and gas worth $10,000 a day. Judy?
Exciting for them. Lisa, I was surprised the oil was so light colored.
Well, I brought it right here. I was too. I was expecting that thick black goo when we think of black gold. And they tell me this is a much more valuable product, that this doesn't require as much refining, and that they can get more money for the orange liquid, even though it looks like Gatorade, that this is so pure you could almost put it straight into your lawnmower.
Glad they're having such success. Thank you, Lisa.